Throughout our lives, we develop a curious thing called an ego. Now, I've got to be clear to you what I mean by an ego. An ego isn't something that is a living organism. The particular living organism, which is inseparable from a particular environment, that is to say, from the universe as centered here and now, is something real. It isn't a thing, it's a feature of the universe. But what we call our ego is something abstract, which is to say, it has the same order and kind of reality as an hour, as an inch, as a pound, or a line of longitude. It is for purposes of discussion, it is for convenience, in other words, a social convention that we have what is called an ego. But the fallacy that all of us make is that we treat it as if it were a physical organ, as if it were real in the sense when in fact it is composed of our image of ourselves, that is, the idea of ourselves, as when we say to somebody, you have to improve on your image. The image of ourselves is obviously not ourselves any more than the idea that a tree is a tree, any more that you can get wet by water. And to go on the image of ourselves is extremely inaccurate and incomplete. We don't see ourselves as others see us in the objective nature of the concept. So my image of me is not your image of me. My image of me is extremely incomplete. It contains no information of my central nervous system or circulation, or my metabolism, and my subtle relationships with the surrounding human and non-human universe. So the image of myself is a caricature in the sense. It is arrived through mainly my interactions with other people who tell me who I am in various ways, either indirectly or directly, and I play with the picture of myself that they create, and they play something back to me. So we set up this conception of the image. This starts very early in your life and continues onward as you grow up. I was told, and you are told, that we must have a consistent image. You must be you. You have to find your identity in terms of image. And this is a red herring or misleading fallacy. A lot of the current generation has a quest for identity, and it's for an acceptable image. What role can I play? Who am I in the sense of what will I do in life, and so on. While that has a certain importance, it's not backed up by a deeper meaning, which is why it becomes misleading. So therefore, on the one hand, there is an image which is intellectual, emotional, imaginative, and so forth. Now we would say, I don't feel that I am only an image. I feel that there's something more real than that, because I feel. I have a sense of there being a particular sort of sensitive core beneath the surface, and that corresponds to the word I. Because the feeling of me being myself is not the whole body, because a lot of the body can be seen as an object. We may see our feet to our chests, and it vanishes to the edges of our nose. We look in the mirror and we see that we have a head, and those around us have heads, so the assumption is made that we also have one. The same with our backs. We can't see our backs, but we understand that there is a back that exists. So we tend to put our egos in the unseen part of the body, the part that you can't get around to, but you can feel it. But what is it that we feel? Because if I can see clearly and my eyes are in functioning order, the eyes certainly are not conscious of themselves. There are no spots in front of them and no defects in the lens retina or the optic nerve. Therefore, my ego is functioning properly. I ought to be aware of it as something that is there.